They both are coming off preseason games before going out to China. Then they'll have a week to adjust when they get back before the regular season begins. Fewer preseason games, I think, was something that a lot of the players wanted. Just get into the games. But I think you may see some less than stellar play early on. The team's not having a chance to play together as much. It won't affect a team like the Warriors, but maybe a team like Minnesota that's a lot of new players it could affect.
Especially on the defensive side of the floor where they're trying to develop some cohesion. Yes, I think that's going to happen, but that's just part of it. Let's take a listen.
It's Karl Anthony Towns of Minnesota.
On behalf of everyone at the Timberwolves organization, we want to thank you guys in Shenzhen so much for your hospitality and welcoming us into your home. Thank you so much for being some of the best fans of basketball.
Ni hao. On behalf of the Golden State Warriors, we want to thank you, like Kat said, for your hospitality here in Shenzhen. This is our organization's third time being here in China. We look forward to it every year, so thank you very much. Hopefully we give you guys a great show, and hope you follow the NBA all year long. Thank you very much.
So Stephen Curry addressing the crowd in Shenzhen, which is near Hong Kong. Game 2 will be on Sunday in Shanghai. So we're getting set for the Golden State Warriors coming off a championship. They're second in the last 3 years. Steve Kerr, their head coach in his third season, of course, had the health injuries, and Mike Brown took over the team for 11 games during their run of the playoffs. They won all 11 of those games. Steve Kerr coming back in the second game of the finals and leading the way to a 5-game finals victory over the Cleveland Cavs. The Warriors went 15-1. I should say 16-1 in the postseason last year. On the other side, Tom Thibodeau, the head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, also the president of basketball operations in his second year with Minnesota, bringing over a couple of his old players from Chicago in Jimmy Butler and Taj Gibson.
Yeah, it's not just that they obtained experience, they've obtained familiarity and experience. The idea of having a Jimmy Butler with these young, talented players like Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins to bring him in to be a leader, to have Taj Gibson along for the ride, and his leadership ability. Jeff Teague. This is going to be, Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be one of those teams you're going to really enjoy watching this season.
Tom Thibodeau compared building his team and trying to do what Steve Kerr has done with the Golden State Warriors, and when he points to, a lot of people think of the Splash Brothers and they think of the points and the three-point shooting. He points to the fact that they're one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. That's what he's trying to be. And Butler and Gibson back in the fold speaks to that point.
Yeah, and interesting enough, that's where they struggled last year. They're 26th in the NBA on the defensive side of the floor,
Minnesota.
Or the Timberwolves, yeah.
So Zaza Pachulia against Karl Anthony Towns. And we're underway in Shenzhen, China. Curry, along with Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, and Zaza Pachulia in the blue for Golden State. Taj Gibson defending on the ball. Here's Pachulia. Knocks down the jump shot. We're underway with a 2-0 Warrior lead.
How about Zaza right off the bat? Everybody's got the ability to shoot the ball for the Warriors.
For the Timberwolves, it's Butler along with Towns, Gibson, Jeff Teague. Here's Towns a three, and it's good. Karl Anthony Towns, who shot it very well from three last season, gets the Wolves going. And then it's Draymond Green inside to put the Warriors back in front.
Yeah, the ball movement, the quick decision-making, easy passing ability, but the Warriors are just so unselfish.
Karl Anthony Towns, that 3 moments ago, was 3 of 3 in their first preseason game this year. Andrew Wiggins with it now in the corner for Minnesota. Wiggins attacking, deflected loose and scooped up by Curry. You hear the roar as Curry shoots a three and knocks it down, and they love it in Shenzhen.
The anticipation of the fans is enjoyable to hear. The moment he started breaking up the floor, they were just loving it.
Minnesota in those sharp new uniforms they have this year. Here's Wiggins off the mark. Wiggins averaged 23.5 points a game last year. Warriors on the attack. Curry, three. Again, Stephen Curry.
And how about the feed by Draymond Green like he was a shortstop that time, skipping it across the diamond.
Minnesota with a win over the Lakers in their first preseason game. That game was in Anaheim the other day. On Saturday, Karl Anthony Towns down to the block, fouled by Pachulia. Karl Anthony Towns was 3 of 3 from behind the arc in their win against the Lakers. The rest of the team was just 3 for 17. And there's Butler shooting a technical foul. It was a defensive 3-second call. It's not a foul on that play. It was a defensive 3-second call. It was Zaza who was the guilty party. See Taj Gibson wearing number 67. He wore 22 with the Bulls. Wiggins wears number 22 with the Timberwolves. Curry on the move off the miss. Thompson lets it 2, and it's good for Klay Thompson. And the Warriors in control right now, 12-4.
Not a whole lot of rust in China right now for the Warriors. Looking sharp right off the bat. Wow.
They flew after their game the other night. They took a direct flight to Shenzhen. The Wolves had a stopover in Alaska. There's Draymond missing. Wanted foul, doesn't get it. The Warriors arrived, and well, a bunch of them went to Hong Kong and went sightseeing. Some of them went to play golf, and then they got to work the next day. You know what Tom Thibodeau did, though, when they landed?
He was
they
watching,
dropped their
tape.
bags off, and then they all went to the gym and they practiced.
Oh, he's got some pieces to work with this year.
There's one of them. It's Butler, but an air ball and a 3.
How about the Warriors, the way they're challenging shots to start this game?
Durant got fouled in transition there by one of the new Wolves, Jeff Teague.
You know, you alluded to it early before the game about, it reminded everybody about how good the Warriors are, the number 1, top 2 defensive team last year. You see, early in this game, each shot that the Timberwolves have taken has been contested by the Warriors.
Klay Thompson, who made a trip to Asia during the offseason, knocks down a 3. He's representing a Chinese sneaker company, so he spends a lot of time there in Asia, and he puts the Warriors on top 16-4.
And what a trip it was for Klay Thompson.
Yes.
Boy, he had a lot of fun and became very relatable. You know what I mean? Like, I think the people of China, or just in general, I don't think we even knew, as NBA people or whatever, that much about Klay Thompson.
The personality.
He really showed his personality in his trip to China. Whether it be missing dunks or...
Wiggins missing on a 3. Towns with a rebound. Towns keeps going after it, but Green allows Curry to get the loose ball. Curry around a Pachulia screen. It's a long 2. Won't go. Towns the rebound.
Well, Thibodeau thought that this game could be a nice measuring stick to see where they are and how much work they have to do. Right off the bat, Warriors are impressive.
Towns on the attack. Karl Anthony Towns with a bucket. Strong bucket.
How about the versatility, even in this early going by Karl Anthony Towns? Perimeter shooting, the ability to post, and that time to drive.
Well, last year became the first player in NBA history with over 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 100 threes.
Wow. Take another look at it, the versatility of his game. You're right, those uniforms are sharp. I like the new Timberwolf look.
Jimmy Butler against Thompson, who's a good defender. Teague with it now. I have talked a little bit about the acquisition of Jeff Teague. Ricky Rubio is now in Utah. Here's Gibson missing. Tipped. Karl Anthony Towns with the pass to Butler. Now he gets it back. A little pump fake and knocks down a 3.
What a sequence that was between the pass and how about the little look away before he shot the 3.
Whoa. And then a turnover.
That was a beautiful sequence by Karl Anthony Towns. Showing his skills early.
Yeah, you see
Ron Adams
telling everybody they got to get some ball boys out there to wipe down the floor. Nobody's wiping down the floor. Karl Anthony Towns turns and trying to score inside there. Won't go. Rebounded. Here's Curry. The no look in the corner. Durant, 3. The side of the backboard. Wiggins. And Wiggins with a strong drive to the rim and a bucket. 16-11 Warriors. Wiggins, who averaged 16.9 points a game as a rookie, got that up to 20.7 in his second year, 23.6 last year. And the feed from Green inside to Pachulia, the Warriors back up by 7.
The versatility, the unselfishness, and the ability of Draymond Green that time off the drive, just dropping it off big time. You're right. Teague's got to kind of see if he can make some things happen, but again,
Curry on the leak out and goes to the reverse, and the Warriors up 20-11.
The Warriors are putting on an offensive display. Their defense is really impressive. Look at that right there by Pachulia. Really setting a tone on the defensive side.
And a traveling violation against Stephen Curry. Midway through the first in Shenzhen, China, the Warriors on top of the Timberwolves.
Four guys that are advancing it quickly. They're, obviously making plays, making shots, and putting a lot of pressure on the Timberwolves defense right now.
Brian Forte, Scott Foster, Scott Twardowski are the officials in China. They adjusted the points on our stat monitor. It says 19-11 Golden State. They did give Curry a 3 on the scoreboard at one point. It was a 2. But the Warriors have made 73% of their shots here in the first quarter, holding Minnesota to just 25%. Warriors 3 of 5 from behind the arc. Jeff Teague. Starters remain in the game for both sides. Here's Butler. Teague finds Wiggins. Good defense there.
Wow.
Teague has to hoist one up. Here comes Draymond Green for the Warriors.
It doesn't look like training camp defense right there, Chris.
Deep 3 won't go. You heard the roar from the crowd. Now Wiggins. Interesting player, Wiggins. Offered a 5-year, $148 million extension. Has until October 16th to sign it or becomes a restricted free agent.
The anticipation is that everything will be taken care of. Part of that young core. Talent on the T-Wolves. With a flex action right here. There's Durant.
Hits.
Used to run that type of offense when I coached, Chris. Didn't look quite the same.
No?
No.
You didn't have that?
No.
You didn't have this group in Wagner College?
No.
Or Siena? Here's Wiggins. Hits. Well, there are 29 other teams in the NBA whose flex action would look much different if it had this group that's on the floor for Golden State. Pachulia underneath, able to score. Zaza, the beneficiary of all the attention paid to guys like that, Klay Thompson.
But it's the unselfishness that makes them so great, Chris. It's not. They're individually, yes, they're tremendous, but their unselfishness makes them so hard to beat. 70% of their shots last year were assisted on. That's that hasn't been close to the last 10 years or so. As you see what Taj Gibson can do on the follow-up.
The Brooklyn native traded to Oklahoma City last year. And now signed as a free agent with the Timberwolves. Zaza. You hear the rasp of Tom Thibodeau in the background as Karl Anthony Towns goes to work left side of the lane. Shot won't go. Deflected ahead by Green to Thompson. Kevin Durant on the attack, finding Zaza. And there's another example of the unselfishness and the skill level of this Warrior team.
Yeah, just the ability to make these impressive passes off the bounce. And again, everybody looking for everybody else. When they're attacking the basket, second defender comes and they drop it off.
Kevin Durant, the MVP of the finals last year, winning the Bill Russell Trophy. Here's Teague. Finding Butler for 3. Nice rebound there by Gibson. Butler cutting, and he'll go to the free throw line. And a timeout in Shenzhen. Zaza with the finish. Warriors on top. Warriors are bringing in some of the reserves right now. So are the Wolves. Bielitsa coming in. You saw JaVale McGee coming in for Golden State. But the starters, boy, talk about looking like mid-season form. Yep. The Golden State Warriors.
9 assists so far. The unselfishness combined with the defensive intensity, really impressive start for the Warriors. Not surprising, but maybe surprising that they looked that crisp. Yeah.
9 assists on 11 made field goals. As Butler connects on the free throws. Patrick McCaw is in the game now for the Warriors. Wears 0. He was the guy who got some starts when Kevin Durant went down last year. Started 20 regular season games, 3 games in the postseason. McCaw, 6'7", second-round pick in 2016 out of UNLV. Georgie Jang has come into the game now for Minnesota, along with Bielitsa, Jamal Crawford, another one of their newly acquired players this year, and Shabazz Muhammad, who returns to the Timberwolves, although he was signed right before camp. 4 to shoot. Crawford can't hit. Andre Iguodala in the game now for the Warriors. Draymond, an open 3, connects. And the Warriors with an 11-point lead.
And they're pushing the pace that time. Everybody converges back into the paint, and Draymond left wide open. And what a great start by him right now. Just making plays for each other. That time knocking it down. He's already got 4 assists also, does Draymond Green.
A lob from Muhammad, can't complete it. Got his own miss. That won't go. And Muhammad gets it again. Bielitsa. Muhammad to Teague. On a Jang screen. And kicked it away. McCaw. All the way, and McGee cleans it up. JaVale McGee with the good hustle for the big man following the play. The Warriors up 30-17.
Boy, did he find a great role for himself with this team last year, did JaVale McGee. And that type of activity, what gets him on the floor.
And Crawford fouled going to the rim. JaVale McGee played in his mother, Pamela, was an All-American at USC, played and coached in the WNBA. First son of a WNBA player ever drafted, JaVale McGee. And let's congratulate the Minnesota Lynx for winning the WNBA championship yesterday, or last night, or depending on where you're watching. And there's a shot of E on the left.
E Zien Lien.
See, I don't know who the guy they were focusing on, but he may be more popular in China than E, but we knew E. 30-19 Warriors, a minute and 16 seconds to go in the first quarter in Shenzhen. McCaw. Iguodala. 3. McGee can't get the tip to fall.
Just elevates so effortlessly, does McGee.
There's a rejection by McGee. Iguodala to the rim. And it's tipped in by the trailer. And it's Omri Caspi coming into the game. And there's a turnover. Sean Livingston in now for the Warriors. Omri Caspi. Caspi was with the second stint in Sacramento, ended up in New Orleans at the end of last year, signed with Minnesota before the end of the season, and now with the Warriors.
There's McGee again, another highlight of, again, is displaying his ability to get up and down the floor and off the floor with his rejection ability.
Reviving his NBA career last year with the Warriors. Played 77 games, started 10 of them. There's a long hook. It won't go. Less than a 2-second difference. Shot to game clock. Winding down the first quarter. McGee had played just 62 games over his 5 previous seasons before last season. Really getting a second chance. Here's Muhammad. And McGee again protecting the rim, but a foul is called.
Shabazz Muhammad attacking from the wing right there. And, boy, he looks good, Chris. So he is down about 12, 13 pounds from last year. And he played very well in the first exhibition game. Had 22 points. He looks sharp, crisp. He's going to do an excellent job as another one of these talented wings for the T-Wolves. Off the bench.
Another shot of E. Off the miss, the rebound, and Minnesota with it. 2 seconds to go. Long three. Crawford can't hit at the buzzer. The NBA champions taking center stage in China and not disappointing in the first quarter. Their usual prowess from behind the arc has led them to a 12-point lead after 1. To begin the second quarter in Shenzhen, China. Jamal Crawford, part of the new-look Timberwolves this year. Stephen Curry coming out of the game in 11 minutes of the first quarter. Curry with 8 points, including a couple of threes. Warriors were 4 of 8 from behind the arc, shot 69% overall in that first quarter. They lead 32-20 as we begin the second.
And 10 assists in that quarter. And there's a new addition to this Warrior roster.
Swaggy P. Nick Young coming into the game now for the Warriors. And I think they hope to have the JaVale McGee effect on Nick Young this year in Golden State.
Well, you know, he had a good year in L.A. last year. I mean, he shot 40% from three. He's a very good catch-and-shoot three-point guy, and, boy, he'll get some opportunities. There's Bielitsa.
Over Caspian, a goaltend. Called on McGee.
Good to see Bielitsa that time work effectively off the dribble. Remember last year in March, he's coming off ankle surgery. So good to see him moving effectively right there.
Nick Young handling right now as the crowd roars in Shenzhen with Livingston, McGee, Iguodala, and Caspian. Foul against Jones, fouling Sean Livingston. As the starters looking on. Durant played 9 minutes. Just took 2 shots, had an assist. Free throw good by Sean Livingston. Livingston, who revived his career as a member of the Nets a few years ago. And has been a key role in 2 championships in the last 3 years for the Golden State Warriors.
Let's see if the T-Wolves can get some offense going. Can they penetrate this defense? Here's Crawford attacking. Nice play.
Dished it off for Jang, and Jang puts it home. 10-point lead for the Warriors.
37 years old that time, and Crawford making that drive and dish.
Perennial 6th Man of the Year winner in the NBA. Seattle native, longtime Clipper prior to coming over here to Minnesota. Iguodala knocks down the mid-range jumper. Another former MVP of the NBA Finals in their first championship with this group a couple of years ago. Tyus Jones had it deflect off the leg of Caspi out of bounds.
You know, a lot of things obviously have contributed to this incredible success that the Warriors are involved in right now, but I think a big part was Iguodala's willingness to go to the bench a few years back and really got that team atmosphere going for this Warrior club.
As Muhammad knocks down a 3, and then ironically, it's his return to the starting lineup, which earned him the MVP in 2015.
Great point.
In the NBA Finals.
Great point.
There's Caspi. Driving around Bielitsa to the rim. Omri Caspi.
Some big strides. Hey, I trust the evaluation of this Warrior organization. They see something Omri Caspi can contribute to this team.
Tyus Jones missing, rebounded by Jang. Zhang again. Can't hit. Livingston on the move for the Warriors. Young, the quick three. Crawford. Bielitsa with a out of control shot there. Thought he got fouled. Nick Young gives it up. Caspi a three. Rebounded by Zhang for Minnesota.
But getting the ball up and out, up the floor and getting some quality looks are the Warriors, just pushing the pace.
Zhang rolling in and fouled. Gorgie Zhang will go to the line. Foul on McGee. Actually, going to call the foul on Caspi.
Good feed by Tyus Jones at that time, and Zhang continues to just progress in his NBA career. He is one of those guys. They have a lot of bodies on the front line to the Timberwolves, and Zhang is one of them. Has the ability to shoot the ball well. Outstanding rebounder is Zhang, but he can make the 15, 17-footer. Great minutes by JaVale McGee as he takes a seat right now.
David West replaces him.
Got that three-headed center. You know, they got Pachulia, then they can go McGee, and then they go David West.
Nick Young from the foul line connecting. Nick Young played with the, as we mentioned, the Lakers. And we get a turnover there as Jamal Crawford discontinued the dribble.
Yeah, a little hesitation there, a little too much hesitation.
Livingston kept alive by West, saved by Young, and Caspi can't hit, being volleyed around. Crawford fouled as he tried to make the pass.
Well, in other years, there would be a break in the action right now, right? In the second quarter, after the 9-minute mark, a delay in the game. But new rules this year and new timeout situations that we'll review as this game progresses.
Yeah, there used to be 2 mandatories in the first and the third quarter, and then 3 in the second and fourth. Now it's just 2 in each quarter. All 2-minute breaks. One is under 7 minutes, the other is under 3 minutes. And then any other timeouts that are taken, there's no more 20-second timeouts or fulls. There's just timeouts that will be clocked at 1:15.
Hey, I think the game flow, I think it's going to be quicker.
Yeah, only 2 timeouts after the last mandatory timeout in the fourth quarter for each team. As Caspi, the beneficiary of a nice pass right there. The Warriors take a 13-point lead.
Well, obviously the NBA is just concerned with the game flow, making the game go a little smoother, a little quicker, and I think it's great.
Here's Crawford dancing with it. Inside to Zhang, got deflected by the rim. And Zhang gets called for 3 seconds, I believe. Although Tim Thibodeau is not agreeing with that.
He's not.
He's saying the ball hit the rim.
Tibbs is in mid-season form.
There's the nice pass there by Iguodala.
You know what it is about the Warriors? They're so dangerous. All the other teams are dangerous with the ball. The Warriors are dangerous without the ball. They're cutting. They're screening. They really have so much activity. There's Bielitsa right there. The drive. Aggressive rebound by West.
Iguodala working against Tyus Jones, and he traveled.
Double team by Gorgie Zhang that time, attacking down and forced a turnover.
Taj Gibson will re-enter the game, replacing Bielitsa. Crawford, Jang, Jones, Muhammad, and Gibson. Jang can't hit. Rebounded by Caspi. West lost it. Tyus Jones, a Minnesota native out of Duke. Gives it up for Jang. Muhammad pushes it at the rim. It won't go. Here comes Livingston breaking out. Livingston back to Iguodala. And a little too unselfish there. Turns it over.
But boy, they are getting out and running, and that's the first real mistake we've seen with the Warriors in transition so far.
Here's on Saturday in a loss to Denver, were just 4 of 33 from behind the arc, including missing their first 9. They started out the game on fire, but they're now 4 of 10. But their lead has increased to 13 as the Timberwolves will get Karl Anthony Towns back in the game. See Kevin Durant re-enter the game for the Warriors. Steve Kerr said he'd get his starters about 20 to 25 minutes. Ramp it up in the final couple of preseason games. Warriors playing just 4 preseason games. Timberwolves only going to play 3. 2 of them in China. Pass deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with Minnesota. 8 to shoot.
And Sean Livingston that time recognizing that Karl Anthony Towns in the mid-post that time came down for the double team.
Butler back in the game now for Minnesota. The Butler trade was Butler and the 16th pick in the draft, which turned out to be Justin Patton, who actually then went to Minnesota and broke his foot in his first workout. Going to miss at least until the regular season begins. And what they gave up was Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and the 7th pick in the draft, which turned out to be Lauri Markkanen. Butler rejoining his old coach, Tom Thibodeau.
Well, it has the makings of exactly what this Timberwolves team needed. The maturity, the ability, the mental toughness. And there's Taj Gibson from 3.
Fouled by West.
Made a couple in the first preseason game. That's not really his game. It made a few in his career. Made 4 other 3-point shots in his career. He made 2 in his first preseason game. So that 3-point shot would be part of his game now.
Did not even attempt one last year. In his 8th season.
The intensity level that Gibson and Butler bring to this group should really, really be helpful. And, then you got the scoring ability of Jamal Crawford and the speed of Jeff Teague. He has the ability to shred a defense with his ability to penetrate. And he can shoot the ball. Solid shooter, about 36% for 3 in his career. They got ingredients, but this Warrior team can make you look a little bit awkward at times.
West battling Gibson.
Gibson coming out with a little attitude. A David West, Taj Gibson, little steel cage match.
Crowd roaring as Klay Thompson re-enters the game.
Again, think about, there's a lot of fan favorites for the Warriors, but Klay Thompson this summer established himself in China as, well, at least on social media, and that's a big part of it, a legend. Between his arm wrestling, his dancing, his missed dunks, and the fun he had in his 2-week stint in China this summer.
There's Durant off balance, Teague the rebound.
If Teague can penetrate, here he is.
Open it up for Wiggins 3. That doesn't go. Durant with a rebound off the floor. Thompson. Durant, the turnaround, hits. Livingston. Off the pass from Kevin Durant. Karl Anthony Towns wants it against Livingston here. Double. Reset. 6 to shoot. Oh, nice feed inside to a cutting Jimmy Butler.
That's a great cut, but then you get to see the ability of Karl Anthony Towns that time. Excellent read and feed.
Shot won't fall. Here's Butler. Timberwolves won 31 games last year. Haven't been to the playoffs since 2004. Longest streak in the NBA. As Gibson hits inside. But with Butler added to the mix and Gibson added there, I think the expectation level has risen for this Timberwolves team. Maybe not just to be a playoff team, but even more than that. Just be a team that can get into the middle of the pack in the Western Conference.
Well, that Western Conference, I mean, we'll talk about that as the game goes on, and that's what everybody's talking about. There is more intrigue and excitement in the offseason in this NBA than I can ever remember.
It never stopped.
It never stopped.
Went through free agency. We had trades right before training camp. Carmelo Anthony getting traded to Oklahoma City. There's Karl Anthony Towns. That won't go. Got his own miss and puts it in. And that's another reason Karl Anthony Towns and his progression, and Wiggins and his progression, adding Butler and Gibson to the mix. And that's why they're excited and the expectation level rising in Minnesota. Breaking the action here. Warriors by 8 in Shenzhen. Stephen Curry's getting ready to check back in. Game being played in Shenzhen, China. The China games between the Warriors and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns, one of the young players on display in China. And Karl Anthony Towns in this game so far, just 4 of 12 shooting for his 10 points. Has 4 rebounds. Former NBA player E in attendance. Kevin Durant out there on the floor now. Damian Jones is in now. Here's Curry. And we get a whistle and a foul against the Warriors.
Yeah, Damian Jones that time on an illegal screen. That's going to be part of the points of education this year. The screening of not just on the ball, but away from the ball. That time called on Damian Jones. A little more movement right now by the Timberwolves. They're a little stagnant to start this game. See if they can keep it going. Get a decent look. Butler's been really quiet.
Gibson won't get that one to go. Butler just 1 for 3 from the floor. Minnesota shooting just 27%. And there is a 3 for Kevin Durant.
Well, it doesn't take him long at all, but this guy got it quickly, was locked and loaded, catch and shoot and drains it. There's Jimmy Butler. Can he get elusive? Nice feed.
And Wiggins fouled.
Well, that's that combination right there. Can Jimmy Butler and Andrew Wiggins, do they fit? Is it, you know, I mean, certainly their talent level is there. Can they work together and attack the basket? They're not like necessarily a lot of the wings in the NBA where they necessarily spread the floor. They're going to shoot a lot of threes. But can they use their athleticism, their physicality to get to the rim, to make mid-range plays, occasional threes? That's a talented duo on the wings.
Wiggins hits the free throws. 23.6 points a game last year. And it's almost like he's under the radar.
Yeah, a little bit.
Former first overall pick out of Kansas. Here's Curry, calmly off the fake, hitting, and he misses the three-pointer, rebounded by Taj Gibson. Teague double clutch, might have been deflected, and Gibson steals it back. And try to lob it for Karl Anthony Towns. Good hustle there by the big fella, but Taj Gibson not used to throwing the lob passes.
Ooh, that's not going to sit well.
He is an intense man. You know him going back to your college days.
Yeah. Well, that's a long time now. Let me tell you, that's a long time.
Well, he was a.
I met Tom Thibodeau, I think the first time when he was an assistant. Get this. For Phil Jackson, no. He was with the Albany Patroons, but it was Bill Musselman was the head coach. And Phil Jackson actually came in after him with the Albany Patroons of the CBA.
It's funny because he still has Eric Musselman,
right,
the son of Bill Musselman, who was a coach in the NBA, now is at Nevada, and he still goes to observe practice. He's gone and hung out with Tom Thibodeau.
I'm
still
sure.
Remains close to the family.
I'm sure.
He coached it. You go back to Salem State, Harvard. He was an assistant.
Yep.
Tom Thibodeau. There's Wiggins. Short. Green with a rebound. Draymond up. Damian Jones, a 7-footer, couldn't get it to gather it. Thompson had it deflected. It's stolen away by Butler. And then Green racing in to stop the fast break. And Tom Thibodeau wanting a clear path call.
The intensity of Jimmy Butler. He cannot be happy with how this game has gone right now. He hasn't been able to get started. You know, when you talk to Jimmy Butler, they asked him what is his greatest quality. He said, my mental toughness. And, you know, he just kind of brings it all the time. I think that's going to carry over to this young group of players on the Timberwolves. He is focused. He's intense. He knows exactly what the coach wants. He's had success with Tom Thibodeau previously. What a perfect pickup.
Former 30th pick, the last pick in the 2011 first round, who has worked himself into an all-NBA player, third-team all-NBA player last year. And there's Kevin Durant putting the Warriors up by 9.
No, we talked about all their passing and moving. That was all by himself. He didn't need any help that time. That's the type of talent Durant has.
Oh, and a blow-by along the baseline by Wiggins.
First real defensive breakdown that we've seen by this Warrior team in this first half.
Thompson. Rebound eludes Curry, and Teague comes over for Minnesota. End-to-end, Teague can't finish. Green the other way. Draymond. Extra pass. Open three for Thompson is good. And the Warriors in front by 10. The starters have come back in and got the three-point shot falling again.
Yeah, well, they got the pace going and the unselfishness. That's a tough combination to go against.
And Wiggins answering back.
You know, his three-point shooting has improved every year. You know, he started off as a 31% three-point shooter. Last year, up above 36%.
Mm-hmm. And Wiggins has been in the league now since 2014. He's just 22 years old. 11 points and 3 rebounds for Wiggins. 40 seconds to go in the first half. That one goes through the hands of Durant out of bounds. Warriors in front despite 10 turnovers. They're a kind of a high turnover team.
They are. I mean, not a lot of things to get angry about with them, but that's one of the areas at times.
And there's Karl Anthony Towns finishing inside.
T-Wolves have done a good job of getting back in and getting comfortable. I mean, it's preseason right now, so you got different lineups you're just kind of looking at right now. But aside from the initial barrage by the Warriors, T-Wolves have played this game even.
3-second difference. Shot to game clock. Winding down the first half in Shenzhen, China. Green a little off the mark with his pass. Here comes Minnesota. Lead ahead to Butler, and he scores, and the Wolves have pulled within 3. Final seconds. Durant to the rim, and yes, he dunks it in time. Still 1.6 to go. And a midcourt heave doesn't go. The Mother May I steps by Kevin Durant getting to the rim here in the final seconds of the first half. Durant with 9 points. Curry. Karl Anthony Towns led all scorers with 12 points in the first half on just 5 of 13 shooting, 11 for Andrew Wiggins. But it's the Warriors in front at the half, 55-50. Chris Carino and Tim Capstraw back with you. This game being played in Shenzhen, China, part of the 2017 China Games. These same two teams will meet again on Sunday in Shanghai as the T-Wolves go to work to start things off in the third quarter, and they cut the lead to 3 as Taj Gibson scores inside for Minnesota.
Excellent set play out of the half that time. Gibson a little screen away, then dove to the basket. Good feed by Karl Anthony Towns.
Klay Thompson, Green, Curry, Durant, and Pachulia, the starters on the floor for the Warriors, the defending NBA champions, and a foul there on Andrew Wiggins. First foul on Wiggins. Get a look at Jeff Teague, one of the newest Timberwolves, along with Jimmy Butler and Taj Gibson, 3 guys in the starting lineup who were not there last year, thrown into the mix with 2 highly regarded young players in Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns, and you get a sense of why Minnesota is expected to improve greatly on their 31 wins from a year ago.
Right now, they just want to improve on their start to this game. When the starters were out there in the beginning of this game, the Warriors were dominant, and a guy like Jeff Teague here wants to get things orchestrated for this Timberwolves team and play better in the second half.
Butler, the step through. And Scott Foster with a foul call against Zaza Pachulia.
Well, hesitation that time by Jimmy Butler, and was able to accelerate and draw contact. What he does, this is where he gains a lot of ground. Puts up a lot of numbers at the free throw line.
Yeah, shoots it very well as well.
Also gives the Timberwolves a closer, right? I mean, a guy that you could go to down the stretch of a game. Not that they don't have other options, certainly with Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins and even Teague, but boy, he's a veteran you can really rely on.
Draymond was open, and he traveled.
Well, the Warriors came out and they were incredibly impressive on both ends of the floor, but as that first half progressed, they got sloppy with the ball, and turnovers is, I'm sure, something Steve Kerr addressed.
13th Warrior turnover there. 4-point lead for Golden State. Wiggins drives and kicks. Teague a 3, and he hits.
Well, that was impressive by Wiggins right there. He got the switch on with Pachulia. He drove, but he knew where his teammate was outside the arc, and Teague makes his first basket of the evening.
It's a 1-point game. Warriors led by as much as 13 in the first half. Durant a 3, and he connects.
Wow. Sometimes you just say, wow. That's great analyst, huh?
Well, that's when you're talking about Kevin Durant.
Just wow. Makes it look too easy.
Remember, they went from winning a regular season record 73 games and then added Durant, won 67 last year, on their way to their 5th NBA title. Went 16-1 in the playoffs last year. Durant, the MVP of the finals, is to Curry. The banker is good, and the running banker for Stephen Curry. Warriors back up 62-56. Karl Anthony Towns against Zaza Pachulia here. 7 to shoot for the Wolves. And a traveling violation against Wiggins. Turnover number 7 for the Wolves. Durant to Pachulia. Pachulia going after it, but taken away by Karl Anthony Towns. The big cat run on the floor. And a foul is going to be called against Kevin Durant, who stepped in front of Karl Anthony Towns.
Now, what an example of the versatility, though, of Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, getting the rebound and just advancing it himself. A little bit out of control that time. That might not be a great example, and maybe he got bailed out a little bit, but talk about all facets of the game that one player possesses. And we talked about the GM survey, and it came out yesterday, and they rated Karl Anthony Towns as the #1 player. If you're starting a franchise, they asked all the GMs, who would be your first guy you'd want to take? And this guy right here, Karl Anthony Towns, was rated #1.
At 7 foot, 240 pounds, the first pick in 2015, unanimous Rookie of the Year. His numbers staggering last year. First player to reach the thresholds in points, rebounds, and three-point shooting. Curry underneath off the feed from Green. #2 guy on that GM survey is an interesting guy. As Teague knocks down his second three of the quarter.
Giannis.
Yes, Giannis Antetokounmpo got the second most votes for a player that you would want to start a franchise with. That's Durant, the fluid jumper there.
Well, obviously they're taking in consideration years and
Yes.
right and all that kind of. There's a lot going into this. Teague getting some offense going. He was 0 for 7 in the first half. Ooh, good look that time.
But Curry, you see a little hit nudge of Butler when he was in midair, the foul on Curry.
With Jeff Teague making an impact here in this second half. Go with the elbow play here right now. For all the scouts out there watching. Like Draymond Green is so, not just his defense, his ability offensively.
Curry reached in on Teague there.
And we're going to see how this play is called right now, Chris, because this is another point of education in the new rules this year.
Yeah, whether you're gathering or going into the shooting motion, making it a little more difficult to get free throw attempts on these kind of fouls.
See if they sell it. See what they got right here. Is he going up or is it foul before? Remember all those plays when guys would come off the high screen, they'd be bumped, nudged, and then they'd go into the shooting motion? Well, those are no longer going to be opportunities for free throws. Here it is, side out about it. It's a great example. Last year, that probably would have been a shooting foul. Free throws, excuse me.
Butler, strong to the rim. Jimmy Butler.
They forced the switch. Butler sealed the defense on his back and just attacked the rack.
Durant. Pachulia the follow. And a second chance for Zaza Pachulia. Warriors up by 5.
And just go to the rim if you're Zaza right there, right? Clean up some garbage.
Rebounded there by Butler after Towns thought he got fouled. No call was made. A little more physical here in the second half. Jimmy Butler will go to the free throw line.
See, Butler did not start this game off all that effective, didn't impact it, but he's just finding a way to be impactful right now. And again, his aggressiveness and his attitude are getting him to the free throw line. And he's
7 of 8 from the line.
Yeah, he's getting a game going. He'll just grind it out. Again, the mental toughness that he possesses is really his best quality.
Evident in just how much he's worked to improve his game over the years. After 3 seasons at Marquette. Pachulia for Curry. Thompson. Tough shot over Butler, and he makes it. Klay Thompson drains it. 5-point lead again for Golden State.
Yeah, created separation. He's just got that beautiful stroke.
Teague with Curry hounding him. Gibson shot deflected by Green. Gibson got it back again, and it won't go. Pachulia the rebound for the Warriors. Durant charging and gets it to fall, and Golden State with a 72-65 lead.
Not an easy shot, even for the greatness of Kevin Durant that time. Falling to his left that time and having a soft touch.
Away from the play, a foul is going to go against Butler. Warriors in control, third quarter in Shenzhen. world's key manufacturing hubs. And to think, Capper, 40 years ago, it was a fishing village with a few thousand people. Now there are 12 million people in Shenzhen enjoying this game between the Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors. By the way, it's in the Pearl River Delta right next to Hong Kong. It's kind of been known as China's Silicon Valley.
Wow.
Added 4 million people over the last 9 years.
You're showing off now. You're
the
showing
numbers
off.
in China are staggering.
Yes.
Like when you
population, and when you start talking population.
I mean, what are they at? Like 3 billion people. I mean, we can't even fathom what that is. What is it in the United States? Like, it's more than a billion, right? I mean, more than a million.
Yeah. About 300 million.
Yeah. And
change.
And Zaza Pachulia
no more questions
turns
like that.
Turns it over.
Don't surprise me.
But they love the NBA.
They sure do.
In China.
Such an unbelievable global game right now, and the popularity of the players and the knowledge of the game and is just so impressive.
Wiggins connects on a three.
He looks comfortable, doesn't he, shooting that three-point shot? Again, he's improved it every year, and that could really open up things for this team.
Durant, he looks pretty pretty good shooting the jumper, too.
Yeah, he's kind of comfortable.
8 of 12 from the floor for Durant, 20 points for KD. Midway through the third quarter, Golden State on top, 74-68. Chris Carrino, Tim Capstraw with you.
Coming with the double again on Karl Anthony Towns.
There's Teague around to Wiggins. Wiggins able to fight that one through. But they wave it off. An offensive foul is called. Basket interference.
Yeah, basket interference. That was going down, but Karl Anthony Towns couldn't keep his hands off.
Durant, fade away. And Karl Anthony Towns with the rebound.
Gibson's got an advantage. Can he get him the ball?
Butler's pass at the feet of Towns. Here's Teague. And the rebound to Butler. Elevates and hits.
See, that's another example of just Jimmy Butler grinding out a game and making a hustle play and keeping his team competitive right now.
16 for Butler. Thompson a long two, and it's good for Klay Thompson.
And a hand in his face that time. Taj Gibson contested that well, and it didn't matter.
Timberwolves, who got it as close as 1. Warriors led by as much as 13. Here's Gibson connecting.
Excellent spacing out that time by Taj Gibson to create a passing lane for Teague on that penetration. He can make that shot.
Curry turns it over. NBA in China put out a listing of their most popular teams and jerseys. Stephen Curry, number 1. Warriors, the most popular team.
Hey, we got to talk about that a new NBA All-Star Game format. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're going to pick.
It's like a playground pickup game. I like it.
They're going to choose the players to participate like they've done in every other year. Voting, fans voting, and then players voting, and the coaches pick the reserves, but then they will choose sides.
Yeah, well, the 2 highest vote getters, I guess, become captains.
In each conference.
I think that's where the fun is going to be, though. I mean, I don't know if the game is going to be, how different the game might be, but the build-up as far as selecting different players and who's taking who's
Yeah, you might get a chance to see guys play together that had not been able to play together before, as you see Teague with a blow-by. Yeah, with, LeBron James, will he?
Yeah, it could be with Steph Curry.
Will he take Kyrie Irving?
Good point.
Will Durant take Westbrook? Things like that.
Yeah, no, I think the build-up would be really fun.
Kind of flashbacks to
spice it up.
Being in middle school, though, being the last guy picked.
Yes, somebody's going to be the last guy picked.
Are they all going to stand around and we're going to pick? I got you, and then you come over here, and then one poor guy standing by himself. at the end.
Oh, my. That's very funny.
All right, Draymond.
Come with me. You got a different uniform, though. Doesn't fit. That's very funny.
Timberwolves have closed the gap to within 2.
You know, the adjustment and the timeouts or the flow of the game, this game is moving. This is a quicker, I don't know, it's not a great example. I mean, you got to watch a bunch of games. But this game right now is moving right along. The reduction in timeouts is impacting. Also, my impact conditioning.
And they do not get a... Oh, they do. They will review that, the next whistle. They will review to see whether or not he got that off and beat the shot clock buzzer. Here's Curry from deep. And now the Timberwolves with a chance to... Well, they gave him the bucket. Here's Teague a 3, and that won't fall. Yeah, I think the score may be wrong. There should be a break in the action here. They'll review that Karl Anthony Towns shot, straighten out the score when we come back. Saying that it came after the shot clock expired. So they will adjust the score. The Warriors up by 2. Patrick McCaw back in the game, whereas number 0 for the Warriors, along with Omri Caspi. Nick Young, who has it here, comes firing off a screen. Ball deflected and saved out to JaVale McGee. Back it goes down low for the bucket for Jordan Bell, the second-round pick.
That's the type of hustle plays that Jordan Bell's going to be looked upon to contribute, Chris. He's got a little Draymond Green in his game. He can really fly all around the court. Great shot blocker, excellent athlete. Good hands that time by Caspi.
Shot won't go. Bell out of Oregon. Led them to the Final Four last year as a junior, averaged 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game. Actually set a school record for blocks as a freshman. He had 94 that year. 6'9", Jordan Bell, we're number 2 for Golden State. You see him down on the block, waiting for this free throw from Karl Anthony Towns.
And the free throw line has been very helpful to the Timberwolves in this game. Is part of the reason why they've been able to grind back into it.
You see substitutions here for the Wolves. Crawford, Tyus Jones, Muhammad all coming in as Butler and Wiggins take a seat.
It's a good example that T-Wolves just showing, even though it's preseason, showing some grit in this game, right? I mean, like just kind of grinding it out. Right now, they're 21 for 24 from the free throw line. Just kind of battling, competing, and that's what the maturity of these new additions will bring, a toughness to this group. You'll see him ball pressure.
Young got fouled on the pass. Karl Anthony Towns called for the foul. First foul on Cat. He's going to take a seat. Actually get it on Tyus Jones. That's his second. Change the call. McCaw. The nice pass. McGee can't connect on the dunk, and we're going to whistle and a foul. And a little jawing in McGee in the middle of it with Muhammad.
Take another peek here. Good drop-off pass right there by Bell to McGee, but Muhammad with some contact. And
McGee shoved him in the back. Muhammad took exception to that. Still talking to each other at the free throw line right now. Play nice, guys. McGee can't hit. JaVale McGee makes one of two. 3-point lead for the Warriors.
Maybe a little extra intensity with this backup crew right here on the floor right now. Let's see what develops.
Gibson, again, finding his range from three, a guy who had not had that in his repertoire up until this year. Working it into the preseason, he's been effective.
Sure has. Looking comfortable in the corner three.
Caspi. McCaw. 5 to shoot for the Warriors. And we get a 3-second call. Tom Thibodeau was pleading for it in front of Scott Foster, who finally called it.
Yes, listen closely. You can get a little play-by-play from Coach Thibodeau. That time, he was all over the 3-second count. Great multiple efforts that time defensively by the Timberwolves led to the confusion offensively by the Warriors. That's where they're looking to improve on the defensive side of the floor. We know Thibodeau's reputation. Oh! Came out of nowhere to JaVale McGee. What
Keeps the game tied. McCaw for Caspi. 30 seconds to go in the third. And Nick Young with the beautiful finish off the feed from Caspi. And the Warriors regain the lead.
It's so dangerous when guys are posting in that mid-post area. Guys are always diving to the basket. You have to be aware. Great feed. Some dancing for Jamal Crawford right now. He loves to shake guys. Good pass. Oh.
Tyus Jones, shot clock running down. Just gets it off. But wave it off again, touching it on the cylinder.
Yeah, they've missed a couple of baskets, have the Timberwolves in this game.
3 seconds to go. Young, deep, won't go. Third quarter comes to an end. Wolves hang it in. Warriors by 2, going to the fourth quarter in Shenzhen. The China Games 2017. Brunch, the mascot for the Timberwolves, entertaining the folks at the arena in Shenzhen. As Karl Anthony Towns and company have played well, shown fans there a good time. Karl Anthony Towns with 16, so with Butler 16, 14 for Wiggins. Big 3 for them on the bench. Warriors being led by Kevin Durant with 20, 14 for Curry. They're on the bench as well. West out there to Young. Young with a fall away and bounds out of play. Goes over to the Timberwolves. Warriors are led by as much as 13. Timberwolves had a 1-point lead in the very beginning of the game.
Well, the Warriors just came out and just were really impressive in the first 6-7 minutes of this game. Their defense was smothering, their pace was outstanding, and they took advantage. But the T-Wolves have grinded their way back into this game. They're playing very solid. Here's Bjelica to the rack.
And got his arm grabbed by Omri Caspi.
Now, we talk about versatility of different players. Bjelica is one of those guys also, much like Karl Anthony Towns. He can shoot the 3. He can drive the ball. He's got a good feel passing it. More than adequate rebounder.
Nemanja Bjelica has been part of the Serbian national team. Did not get to take part in the Olympics in Rio because of a foot injury. Been a professional in Serbia, Spain, and Turkey. And misses the second free throw. A little tidbit about Bjelica.
What do you got? A nugget?
He was the best man for Nenad Kristic at his wedding. Nenad Kristic, the former Net Thunder player.
That is outstanding.
That's a little tidbit. I should say Nenad Kristic was the best man at Bjelica. He was Bjelica's best man.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't want to correct.
You didn't want to correct me. I know. Thank you. As the free throw goes down for George Niang. Niang, who is a former winner of the Karl Malone Award as the nation's top power forward, I should say, at Iowa State. Second round pick of Indiana in 2016. And the fall away goes down for Jamal Crawford.
Throughout his career, he's always been a difficult shot maker. That time in the mid-range with the pull-up.
And there's a steal by Crawford. Tyus Jones ahead of the pack. And the Wolves take the lead, 84-83.
And Jamal Crawford right in the middle of both sides of the floor. Offensively and then defensively with those hands. 18th year in the NBA. Still getting it done.
Loves to play. McCaw can't hit on a three. And a strong rebound by Jang. Ahead to Muhammad. Crawford, the runner, won't fall. Rebounded by Niang. West off the mark. Jang with a rebound. Bielitsa to the rim, and he scores.
A little napping that time by the Warriors, and the T-Wolves taking advantage as Bielitsa running hard. Tyus Jones rewarding him.
Niang.
Good hands that time. Bielitsa, see it a little defensive. Here it is again. Deflections.
And here's Jang. Wolves with numbers. And Young able to defend it. And Jang loses that out of bounds. It'll stay with the Wolves.
Well, that's a little bit of the defense that you thought, is looking to pick up this year with the Timberwolves. Excellent activity by Bielitsa. Consecutive deflections.
Tyus Jones. Pass to the wing, deflects it out of bounds. And a turnover as Crawford couldn't handle the pass. West going to work on Jang. And he'll go to the line. You hear the coaches yelling out ball pressure.
Well, and I'll tell you why. A lot of reasons. Well, you want to obviously be active on the ball, but because the Warriors are so adept at passing the ball, when there's so much activity, one of the great ways to take away the weak side cutting and all the activity away from the ball is to take away the vision of the person handling the basketball. So ball pressure becomes critical to make you can't allow open alleys for passes or just to take away vision of guys cutting to the basket. I think that's why one of the many reasons you're hearing it, but it all begins with that, your ability to defend the ball with an attitude and approach.
See, Tom Thibodeau has on his bench former Villanova star Ed Pinckney, who was with him in Chicago and rode in Minnesota.
And Andy Greer also has been a long-time assistant with him in a lot of locations, in a couple places, and he is an incredibly well-respected assistant coach.
I see Pinckney, though. I think of that great Villanova team that won the championship, and Rolly Massimino passing away recently. A great flamboyant head coach at Villanova in that championship, the upset over Georgetown. Hear Tom Thibodeau in that rasp going at it with the officials, as that was called as a defensive 3-second call, and then missing the free throw, and Tom thinking he got some sort of retribution.
Hey, you got they only have 3 preseason games. They've got to get ready. They have some expectations, and certainly not going to play your starters too many. Oh, a little physicality between Jang and David West. Wow.
Just,
a little flagrant one, maybe.
Yeah, on Jang.
Yeah, right. I mean,
a little extra and a shove in the back at the end there.
Well, but David West, how about his separation, though? I mean, when he was getting open, and it's always the retaliation that gets hit.
They will review this to confirm the call. Scott Foster will take a look. Timberwolves have rallied to take the lead here in this game. Warriors have led by as much as 13. Flagrant one against Jang. You see him arguing the point with Scott Foster, but Foster looked at the replay to confirm it. So West to shoot the technical. It missed twice here. Makes 1 out of 2. Previous miss was after the defensive 3-second call.
But you get a different feel for the attitude and approach of the Timberwolves this year, right? Mm-hmm. They're not backing down to anyone. Whether we saw Muhammad a few minutes ago get into it a little bit with McGee, we see an attitude with Gorgie Jang, with David West.
Nick Young trapped.
He's getting after it a little bit.
Niang. And the ball intercepted by Muhammad. Bielitsa up top for Tyus Jones. Crawford gives to Bielitsa.
Movement.
Jang. 10 to shoot for the Timberwolves. Foul is called against McCall of the Warriors. I heard a podcast with Adrian Wojnarowski and Jamal Crawford, talking about just how much Jamal Crawford loves to play.
Yeah, they say with the day he retires, he's going to go to the YMCA and play. Right?
Well, he finds a game wherever he can. He goes. It's not uncommon to find him in a park or on a day off, just playing basketball. I guess that's how you stay in the league for 18 years.
Yeah, and just the passion, because you just want to love the game. And boy, he doesn't.
Oh, there's a nice feed to Muhammad, who was wide open, and the Timberwolves even it up. Take the lead, 88-86. Crawford, part of that community of great players that have come out of Seattle,
right?
Niang had it blocked by Bielitsa, but a foul is called. Crawford was a high school teammate of Nate Robinson. They played at Rainier Beach in Seattle.
I think Aaron Brooks is a Seattle native also. He's on the bench of the Timberwolves. Now, he hasn't got any minutes yet. But it's just an inordinate amount of Brandon Roy.
Isaiah Thomas. Remember when Isaiah Thomas was playing, he went to go play prep school in Connecticut. Jamal Crawford was playing for the Knicks. And he would go up to, look after Isaiah Thomas. Go up to school, watch him play up in Connecticut. And they had a close, tight relationship. I'm looking out for the younger guys coming out of Seattle.
Wow.
A long backdoor feed, and Muhammad finishing.
How about getting it up the floor in a hurry that time and catching the Warriors napping as Tyus Jones delivers it on target to Muhammad.
Tyus Jones, a former national champion with Duke. Nick Young, a difficult three, and he ties the game for Golden State.
He's got that natural fade in the shot, that little lean back.
Like Fat Joe?
Fat Joe, yeah. The Fat Joe lean back shot.
Bielitsa can't hit on a three. Nick Young chases it down. Warriors looking to regain the lead. Young got the foul drawn as well there. He can go to the line and try and put the Warriors up when we come back. 6:42 to go, fourth quarter in Shenzhen.
Involving Warriors and T-Wolf players so far, kind of bumping each other. We saw a flagrant one. Just a little bit extra intensity. If you're the Timberwolves and you're Thibodeau, you've got 3 games in a preseason. You want to establish a different identity than you've had in the past. You have these new players that have a toughness about you. You want that to wear off on the other guys.
A couple of missed free throws. The game remains tied. Well, this Timberwolves team in the bottom of the defensive rank in all the major categories last year. That didn't sit well with Tom Thibodeau in his first year last year with the Timberwolves. Adding Butler and Gibson to the mix, trying to change that up. Here's Muhammad. Defended well there. Warriors control.
It's not just what those guys bring, it's what how their attitude wears off on other people. It's their leadership, it's their toughness, it's their grit that becomes contagious.
McCaw, contested shot won't fall, rebounded by Crawford. Midway through the fourth, game tied. And there's an illegal screen against Jang, who kind of shoved Nick Young from behind, and a foul is called against Jang.
You extend those arms, it's too obvious, and Jang did that time.
So all even midway through the fourth. Second preseason game of the year for both of these teams. Wolves with a win over the Lakers. The Warriors lost to the Nuggets in their first preseason game. Underneath, it's Damian Jones, had it deflected. Here come the Wolves.
Bjelica going up there with the rejection, or tipping it, and then retrieving the rebound.
Tipping like a Serbian Sinatra.
Good pass.
The open Tyus Jones connects, and the Wolves take the lead in Shenzhen.
The feel for the game by Zhang. Quick answer, not there.
That was Michael Benajay, who just checked into the game, the former Syracuse star.
But Gorgie Zhang though, sprinting down the lane that time on a roll and kicking it backwards. Here's a good feed again.
And Jones with a finish and one. A foul against the Warriors, and Tyus Jones fouled by McCaw, looking to add to this Wolves lead.
Oh, Gorgie Zhang right here, just feeding off the elbow, just playing basketball out there. Two great assists in a row by Zhang.
And the free throw puts Minnesota up by 6, their largest lead of the game. Trailed by as much as 13. Again, the reserves is where they've turned the game around. There's Nick Young. Trap. The step back three. That won't fall. Rebounded by Jang.
That's the value of Jamal Crawford, too. He can handle the ball very effectively. There's Shabazz Muhammad. Good skip pass by Bjelica.
Tyus Jones finding Muhammad. 5 to shoot. 20-footer is good. And an 8-point lead for the Timberwolves.
That possession looked like the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Early in this game, or how the Warriors play. Excellent movement and really utilizing all parts of the floor. Moving the ball.
The three won't go from Benajay, and then we get a whistle and a foul against the Timberwolves as Nick Young is knocked to the ground.
Bring the moms out, please.
Hit the ground hard there. Nick Young shaken up. He has gotten some of the loudest ovations from the crowd in Shenzhen. Nick Young we're talking about.
Yeah, no, he's a popular guy. There's no doubt about that.
Recognizable player. Missing on a free throw. Warriors just 12 of 20 from the free throw line. Kevon Looney has just checked in quickly, comes out. Missed free throw again. Nick Young still looks a little shaken up. He's going to foul Jones so he can come out of the game. You see him walking a little awkwardly.
And took a serious fall. George Niang's going to come in for him.
Went down hard on the tailbone. So the Warriors with an 8-point lead. I should say the Wolves with an 8-point lead. 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Jones kicks it to Muhammad. Spin move. At the side of the backboard, rebounded by the Warriors. Damian Jones comes up with it. McCaw. Cut off. Benajay. McCaw. And Niang can't hit on a three. Deflected out of bounds, and it will go over to the Timberwolves.
The screening action, looking to post up down low. Muhammad, he's probably their closer right now. Over the top.
Oh, Muhammad can't get to that one. And the Timberwolves turn it over.
This lineup out there to be probably the closer for the T-Wolves right now is Shabazz Muhammad. He certainly has that capability, but Tyus Jones wants to prove to Coach Thibodeau that he can value the basketball and make smart plays down the stretch. There's Jordan Bell. Let's see if he's kicking it out.
Benajay can't hit, but Bell in there to get the rebound and put it in.
Talk about easy elevation that time. He had jumped up on the way down. He tipped that in.
Most outstanding player of the Midwest Regional in the NCAAs last year. Out of Oregon. Here's Crawford finding Jang inside. And Jamal Crawford helps keep the Wolves in front.
This is where the game gets a little bit different now in the NBA with the timeout situation, Chris. I don't think we haven't had the under 3 timeout yet.
Warriors have 1 timeout remaining, 2 remaining for the Timberwolves. That ball deflects out of bounds. So this will become the second mandatory timeout of the fourth quarter. Timberwolves with the lead over the defending champs in Shenzhen. With the lead over the Warriors. 2:20 remaining in the fourth quarter in Shenzhen.
And Chris, both teams right now with 1 timeout, correct? No, there's no more 20-second timeouts. You just have both teams have 1 timeout remaining.
Each team gets 7 timeouts now. There are 4 official timeouts, so 2 in each quarter. And then if you have more than 3, you can only have a maximum of 2 after the final mandatory timeout of the fourth quarter. Both teams, though, down to 1. Hoping to increase the pace of play, especially late in these games.
Yeah, less timeouts, no doubt about it.
And there are no more 20-second timeouts. Any timeout called after a mandatory timeout is 1 minute and 15 seconds. Bielitsa knocks down a 3, and the Timberwolves increase their lead to double digits with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
And that's some sharp late-game execution out of a timeout that time. Thibodeau's going to like that, and Bielitsa continuing to impress.
And he commits a foul there. The reserves have been out there here in the fourth quarter. The Warriors have lost the lead. I don't know if it's you could catch the subtlety, Tim, but I believe that was a pleased Tom Thibodeau look. He seems pleased right now. Missed free throws have hurt the Warriors here. They're at 52% from the line tonight. 12 of 23. Muhammad, 9 to shoot. Jang shoots a 3 and knocks it down. Very comfortable. There's Georgie Jang. He developed that last year, hitting a 3.
Exactly. Don't be surprised at that. He can make those shots.
The dish off that time from Jordan Bell leads to the bucket. 106-94 Timberwolves. Same 2 teams will meet again on Sunday in Shanghai. And that one just crawls in, the 3 from Bielitsa.
Well, the team that was last in the NBA in threes last year attempted and made is putting his game away at the 3-point line.
They're 12 of 27 from behind the arc. That's 44%. Bell on the baseline turned it over. In the final minute. And a pass ahead and a foul was committed by Benajay of the Warriors. The Warriors are going to most likely here fall to 0-2 in the preseason, but The way their starters looked in the first quarter, I mean, they look like they're ready to play.
They sure did.
They're ready to go. Ready to start the year.
Start the game, but they looked fantastic. That was as impressive. Well, they're always impressive, almost all the time. Incredible, but they were great to start this game, and I'm sure that's what they wanted to see. They probably wanted to duplicate that again to start the second half, but I thought you saw a couple. You know, you have to search for issues with the Warriors, right? But they can be at times careless with the basketball. And we saw them do that. They were loose with the ball, made some mistakes. Hey, if you're Steve Kerr and your team has won 2 championships in the last 3 years, 65-plus wins, you've got to find things to get angry about.
Yeah.
You've got to look. You've got to search. And you've got to find ways to motivate your team, maybe at times, although they're very highly motivated. But your attention to detail becomes critically important to make sure your team is sharp.
Golden State has had the best overall record 3 straight seasons. Most wins over a 3-season span in NBA history. As Tyus Jones hits the free throw, Timberwolves up 111-94. Game changed quickly in the latter stages of the second half with the reserves out there. Inside, Jones blocked from behind by Bjelica, and a foul is called. On the other side of things, Minnesota shows they still need to work out just the familiarity between some of the new faces, but there's some depth to this team, and there's a lot of talent in the starting 5.
No, there sure is. When you start thinking about what Karl Anthony Towns can do along with Wiggins, and then you add exactly what it's like a recipe, right? What are you going to add to the recipe to make it a great meal? Jimmy Butler, Taj Gibson it just seems like, Chris, and again, it's got to play out, but it just seems like a perfect ingredients to really help this organization really get to the next level. They also got guys we've seen, like Muhammad looks improved. He looks in great shape. Bjelica looks sharp. Gorgie Dieng has looked very effective.
Guy like Jamal Crawford now coming
really
off the bench. The Timberwolves will dribble out the clock in the 2017 NBA China Games. Minnesota coming from behind with their reserves late, and they hold off the Warriors 111-95, the final in Shenzhen. Stephen Curry finished with 14 points on 5 of 9 shooting, was 3 of 6 from behind the arc. Kevin Durant led the way with 20 for Golden State. 16 points apiece for Butler and Towns, 14 for Wiggins. The Wolves end up shooting 44% from behind the arc, while Golden State shot just 52% from the free throw line. And Minnesota turned it around late, comes away with a 111-97 victory. I think the fans in Shenzhen got a chance